I make a ton of money with Instagram. Right now, I've got 200,000 followers. I make $400,000 a month. I have income proof all over the place, including bank statements. And a massive part of that income comes from knowing how to properly write Instagram captions so you actually make money. And so I thought it would be very helpful to break down all the different kinds of captions I use to make money, how I write them, how I structure them, and then how you can take them and repurpose them for your own business. So basically, I want to create the ultimate guide to Instagram captions. So I did a ton of prep work for this video, and I'm excited to get into it. So in case you don't know me, my name is Maria Wendt. I sell digital courses, and I initially started like learning how to make money from being a website designer as a website and graphic designer. I did that for a super long time. And over the years, I was really good at getting clients. And so people wanted to know how I was doing that. And now I just started showing my friends how to get clients and make money. And then it sort of snowballed from there. And over the years, especially in the last like year and a half, I've really just been mind blown by how easy it is to monetize Instagram, and I know that might not feel that way if you're just getting started and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling to make $1 on Instagram. But it's just because you just need some tweaks. Like fundamentally, the Instagram platform is one of the easiest platforms to make money on, which is very exciting for people like you and I who can just up and decide to start businesses and make a lot of money from it. Imagine how we were 50 years ago when you had to run a massive commercial and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising. Like we get an opportunity to make money as long as you have a phone, which is incredible. As long as you have a phone and you know what you're doing. And I'll help you with the second part. So what I'm going to do is basically go over all the different kinds of captions. So there's long captions and there's short captions. And so there's different kinds of long captions and there's different kinds of short captions, and they all work together to make the most amount of money per follower. And a general rule of thumb that I teach is that if you have 50 to 100 followers, or if you have $100 or if you have 100 followers or more, you should be making $50 to $100 a day from your Instagram account. Most people are grossly under monetizing their Instagram account. So I'll say it again. If you have 100 followers or more, you should be making $50 to $100 a day from your Instagram account. And I'm not pulling that number out of my butt. My students who take my passive income course, that's exactly what they're doing. So, and they're leveraging captions in order to do that. Captions are a really big part of the strategy. So what we're going to do here is go over the long captions first, then we're going to do the short captions. And I'm going to show you examples and we'll do like a show and tell where I share my screen and I just show you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it, and then you can do it too. So let me get these guys pulled up here. We'll pull up the first one. So there's basically, as you can see here, there's tutorials and there's conversations. When I thought about the categorization of the long captions, fundamentally it was tutorials and then like intimate, vulnerable conversations. And tutorials can be like literally tutorials where it's step 1, step 2, step 3. It can also be ones that are a little bit bigger, but still very value packed. So long captions that are extremely value packed, essentially in a step-by-step format or a like 25 tips format, really big pieces of content that are considered very valuable. So here's some examples. I'm going to make sure we keep the audio muted just because it's not needed. So if we look at the caption here, you can see here, the reel is literally, here's a 31 steps to your first passive income sale with a little bit of social proof. And then I go right into it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, all the way down, 31 steps. Now I want you to see what steps 30 and 31 are. They're pitches. Comment course below if you want to get my free 7-day passive income course, and follow me. So you'll see a theme here with the call to action or the CTA, where I almost always have a clear call to action. And I want to be very intentional that a call to action, I'm just going to like open this so it's less distracting. A call to action isn't necessarily to buy from you. A call to action is literally just whatever step you want them to take after they watch your content, after they read your caption. What do you want them to do? That is a CTA or a call to action. So you want to think about, and I'll give you a pro tip. If you are like, okay, I'm not sure what kind of tutorials I could make for your industry, you can just go to ChatGPT and say something like, we'll just use my personal one. I'm a relationship coach and I want to make tutorials to help people improve their relationship. These tutorials should be step by steps. Give me 15 ideas for tutorials listed out with no descriptions, just because it's easier. Okay. So then, here we go. So, okay, let's see here. Let's just do number 8 because it's right where my mouse is. How to apologize and forgive in a relationship. So if you're making a reel and be like, what are the 17 steps to apologize and repair something you've done wrong in a relationship? Step 1, fully understand what you've done wrong. Think about it, like sit there and think about it. Step 2, think about what you're going to say, like formulate the apology in your head, make sure it hit all the issues. Step 3, ask the person if they want to sit down and have a conversation with you. Make sure there's no distractions. Step 4, say what you're going to say, right? I'm just giving that as an example. That would be the caption. Super long tutorial. Here's another example. Here's how I would start a passive income business completely from scratch. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. So it's super long. It's just the stages. So that I wanted to pick one that was a little different. It wasn't literally a step-by-step tutorial, but essentially it's a tutorial. It's stages. This is a lot of text and it's very valuable. The way I think about it is every single one of these, if we go back here, these long captions, these tutorials could be blog posts. I try to get to the full, I try to make them so valuable and what I'm teaching is so good that I almost run into Instagram's like character limit in the captions. So these are a core pillar of the content I make on Instagram. And then you'll notice if we go back to this one here, again, the call to action is to follow me. Now we have a different style. This is the conversations where I get vulnerable and it's usually like a vulnerable story. So this one did super well. And it's basically where I say, hey, like normally I make a lot of money per hour with passive income. I didn't make a lot this time. So the hook was like, I feel very tempted to lie to you. Here's the story. Here's a little bit more about it. Here's something you should know. Like I'm just talking to you. Like it's very conversational. It's very intimate. There's a recommendation to read a book. And then you see here, like not every, it's always a call to action. And sometimes if it's just like, okay, what should they be doing? It's just following me. Like that's a really good safe call to action. There should always be something. If it's not to buy or it's not to download something, it should just be like to follow you. So that's another conversation where it's just like, I'm talking to you. We're having a conversation. Here's another one. Super long. This is different than I normally did, but this one did really well. Where I just wrote like essentially like a love letter of encouragement to someone who's discouraged. So I just felt inspired to, I just felt called to. It was like someone out there really needs encouragement. So I just like wrote a letter of encouragement. I do ones like this all the time where they're either like this one. And I'll give you a little behind the scenes sneaky peeky thing. A lot of my conversation ones are things I initially sent out as emails to my email list. So a lot of times my captions that are the conversations are just emails that I send. And I find that something about that works really, really well. So long captions, tutorials, conversations. Let's say of all the long captions, 80% are this style. And then 20% are this style. And then I probably do long captions 50% of the time. Maybe 45%. So just to be like hyper accurate, we'll say 45%. 45% of the time I do long captions, and then that would be 55% of the time I do short captions. So I do short captions slightly more. Okay, so let's dive into short captions here. You have to balance it. So if I only ever did short captions, they wouldn't work as well. The long captions really nurture, they really build community, they really build trust, they really position me as an expert. They do a lot of just legwork. They pre-answer a lot of objections. Long captions do the heavy lifting. Short captions generate a lot of leads. Short captions are like my snipers. I go in and I go out. They're just super in and out. And they work. They're very effective. So here's what a clear call to action looks like, where it's literally just the call to action. I do these all the time. Comment mega down below to get a copy of my guide to getting 100,000 followers on Instagram while it's free. Classic short caption. If you watch the reel here, it's just me showing a free thing that I give. It's a massive 60-page PDF on how to grow on Instagram. People love it. This is classic. I mean, like you can see here, here's another version of it. Exactly the same thing. I just published this one a couple hours ago. Comment plan below. Super classic, super classic. Here's just a couple more examples. This one was like a tutorial, so how to do something. And then the hook was, or the caption was, comment course below if you want me to show you how to create and sell a viral course. And then this guy here, comment auto below so I can send you the link to a free step-by-step tutorial. Now, here's what I want to show you about all of these captions. And this is something that I see a lot of you guys who are trying to copy me or just like imitate this style. This is what you're getting wrong, and I want to help you fix it, okay? You're saying things like, comment ready if you're ready to get started. Comment change if you're ready to change your life. Comment potential if you're ready to unlock your potential. That's wrong. What I want you to do is have them comment and be specific about what they're going to get, some small thing they're going to get. So if we go back to every one of these examples, comment auto, so I'll send you the free tutorial. Comment course, well, this one I think breaks the rule, because what I would say is like, comment, this is a good example of what not to do. So comment course below if you want me to show you how to create and sell a viral course. I would think what would do even better is if I said, if you want my guide to creating and selling a viral course. Comment plan to get a free copy of the entire business game plan. If we go back to like this one here, comment 60 if you want me to send you the link to the free PDF too. This works so well when you and again, like this one went viral, but they tend to do better. I tend to just see a better conversion rate of comments when I say, this is what you are specifically going to get. This is the item that you are going to get, whether it's free or paid, whether it's a link to a Google Doc or a link to my course, whatever it might be. You will see better results if they know specifically what they're getting when they comment versus like, comment ready if you're ready. It just doesn't work as well. And that's something that I've learned over time. So the real talk is, this is an old piece of content that I repurposed before I really kind of like that clicked for me. And so that might be why I did it this way. I don't know. I could have just messed up. But what I've noticed is that when they're very clear on the one specific thing they're going to get when they comment, you'll notice more comments. The other kind of captions are what I call short and sassy. Another way to describe these would be like good hook captions. So in case you don't know, a hook is where you're just trying to hook the person in, basically. You're trying to stop them in their tracks and hook them. People generally think of hooks as things you put on the reels themselves, which you can, obviously. But another hook is the hook of the caption. And the hook of the caption, I think, is generally underrated. I don't think people use caption hooks as much as they should. So here's some examples of what this looks like, because you can really get a lot more people to view your stuff this way. So here is how I use hooks. So this is one that I did yesterday. And I say, there's a reason I don't look like someone who makes $400,000 a month with the little eyes emojis. Those little eyes emojis, super intentional. So someone's going to start, they basically have to make a decision on, are they going to watch this talking head video or not? Talking head is just like my head talking. Are they going to watch this talking head video? Yes or no? And they have to make a decision on if they're going to spend their time to watch it. And these are longer, right? Talking head videos are generally 1 minute and 30 seconds. And so they're trying to decide, am I going to stick around for this video or not? So what I try to do specifically for these talking head ones is come up with a caption that's short and sassy, but it intrigues them and it makes them want to watch it. So it hooks them in. And I usually do this when I feel like a call to action will take away from the reel. So in a video like this, where I'm trying to help people make the decision on if they're going to watch this longer video or not, if I just said like, comment free guide to get the free guide, they'd be like, oh, this is a pitch. I don't want to watch this. Okay. But if I say, okay, advice from a multi-million-dollar business owner, part 23, here's the reason I don't look like someone who makes $400,000 a month. That's another level of intrigue. That's another level of hook. So here's another example. I do this all the time. I wish someone had taught me this sooner. I would have made, this is me looking like a hot mess express after traveling all day. I wish someone had taught me this sooner. I would have made so much money, much more money, so much faster. And so this is like, okay, well, what did she want to know that would have helped her make so much more money so much faster? Now I want to know it. And they're hooked in. So if you start to pay attention, you see that that this works really, really well. And I want to tell you guys, like, these talking heads, by the way, have been working so, like, they don't get a ton of views, but they get a ton of followers. I don't know if you've noticed that too, but these videos, and I don't know if I'm like fully logged in, so I don't know if you can see, but you can see here, these talking head videos do not get me a lot of views. Like, they just don't do super well in terms of views, but followers, they do super well. So a couple things I want to just mention to you guys is that, let me just turn this little circle guy off. The thing about captions is that ultimately, oh my God, I'm having a stroke. Ultimately, it comes down to your ability to write well. And so anything that you can learn about copywriting, any time you spend just writing better is going to be time well spent, because at the end of the day, a caption is literally taking words and turning them into sales. Every single one of my long captions gets me sales. Every single one of my short CTA captions get me sales. And the longer captions that are conversations and the like hook short ones, those nurture and warm, which ultimately gets me sales as well. And so, oh, hang on. I want to show you really quickly the split for the hooks versus the, because we did that. I know I'm going to get questions on this if I don't do this. So if we go back to this doc, I do these like 90% of the time. So almost all of my short captions are call to actions. And I would say, like, if I were to take all of my content as a whole, it's a lot of it is the short captions. And then the sassy ones are like 10%, because this is where I make a lot of money. This right here and this right here, these are my money-making pieces of content. These are my nurturing, and these are my nurturing, which again, like I was saying, nurturing boosts the relationship, it boosts the trust, and it makes it so that when you do pitch with a tutorial style or with a call to action style, and you notice, by the way, that even my pitches on the tutorials are usually just to follow me. Like, this right here is where I make most of my income from Instagram, which leads me to another thing, which is, again, like, if you are not making money from your Instagram account, you just have an exhausting hobby. And I'm saying that because I just need to open your mind here. Let me just show you something here. Because the thing is, like, if you have 100 followers or more, you should be making $50 to $100 a day, especially after the 2024 Instagram update. So Instagram made a massive algorithm update, and newer accounts, beginner accounts are making money with Instagram. And the thing is, I don't know how long that's going to last, right? Like, this is what I've noticed over 11 years. Good things tend to just change, and then you have to get even more clever and even better. But right now, I'm noticing brand new beginners are making a ton of money with Instagram. So if I show you, this is my student, Katie. She made $130. She said, I implemented immediately. She went through this course in a few hours. This is my passive income course. She implemented it as a beginner. I made $130 overnight. You can see if we scroll down. And by the way, in case you're wondering, like, how it works, you make reels and carousels. They attract buyers to your Instagram profile. The more traffic and buyers you attract, the more potential for sales you create. And the more sales you make from Instagram, the more profit you make. And so I basically made a bunch of tutorials on how to do this. And you can see here, my student Diane made 5 sales and $630 in her first 11 days. So these are people with little accounts. These aren't people with massive accounts like me who have a ton of massive followers. They have little tiny new accounts. 150 sales, $14,000. This is one of my students who left me this comment 110 days after so this is like, what is it? That's like 6 months later. She said she took my passive income course months ago, and it worked so well for her production company that she's bored. Basically, she's making so many sales, it takes away that like urgency and need to work. And so she got bored, which I think is hilarious. $600 in the first 4 days. These are small, realistic amounts. And I'm saying all of this to let you know that we're spending all this time learning about captions, but if your Instagram account is not making you money, you're going to burn out, and you're going to I don't like to say this, but like you're increasing your chance of quitting. You're increasing your chance of giving up, which is what I don't want for you. And so I'm always telling everybody, I'm like, guys, if you have 100 followers or more, you should be making $50 to $100 a day, because that expands your mind to what's possible and what you should be expecting from your Instagram account. So if you want to learn more about this course, I'm going to link it in the description down below. There you have it, your ultimate guide to writing Instagram captions. Let's get writing. Let's get making money. I'll see you in the next video.